Assalamu alaikum and Dzień dobry, brothers and sisters. Today's khutbah at Masjid an-Nur was a continuation of last week's khutbah, but today focused on the lessons learned from the three men trapped in the cave that I talked about last week. But he only gave you know, summaries or the lessons from two of the three. And what he focused on today was the first man who admitted his sin to Allah about not caring for his parents who were living with him and his family, and denying them their share of what he had to give to the rest of his household. And the lesson then that is that we have to. It's not just kids that have to obey their parents, except when they tell them to do something that goes against Allah's commands, but that we have to respect our parents and care for them, honor them all our lives and all of their lives. And it could be something as simple as just saying a kind word, greeting them, you know, talking to them on the phone, emailing, internet chat, whatever, depending on their distance and how you communicate with them. But just doing that and avoiding, he emphasized avoiding saying bad things or being disrespectful, because that is a serious sin in Islam. And to disrespect your parents is one of the greatest sins. And he talked about how even in the Qur'an, not only in the hadith where some of these stories come from, but in the Qur'an itself, it also refers to the three men in a cave that the one failed to give proper care and respect to his parents who were living with him. But then he realized the sin, and he made amends for that. He changed his ways. He started giving them their due, what he is supposed to do for them, to you know as our parents age, and we'll all get there. We have to take care of them. Not in a physical sense unless they need the physical help, but if they are not financially stable, we may have to help them out. And although I cannot do that, I can help my mom out in other ways, just by talking to her. She has something that she wants to confide in me, so she will talk to me about it. And then that's as far as it gets, other than Allah hears it. And, but although the Imam didn't mention it, but there is that hadith about where someone came up to the Prophet, peace be on him, and asked him who deserves his best treatment. Who should he treat with the most respect and honor? And three times the Prophet said, your mother, and then he said, your father. So that's how much the mother is important. But of course the father too. But I just thought I'd throw that in there just to kind of help it out a little bit. So respecting the parents and taking care of them. If if they need the physical help, then you get that help. If you cannot do it yourself, then you employ someone like me, a nurse aide, to help them out. Or if they need a better place to live, if they cannot live in their home by themselves, then you help them find a better place, or they move in with you, or you move in with them, or you find them a more suitable environment that meets their needs. But it's in our society, he talked about how people, when kids grow up, they move out of the house, they just kind of blow their parents. Some kids kind of just blow their parents off and they go off to college and they only call if they need money or, whatever. They only come back home if they want laundry done. They don't want to do it in the dorm laundry or whatever. They don't want to feed quarters to the machines to wash their clothes. They'd rather go home and do it for free. Their parents, have their parents do their laundry, but you, know, you can't get away with that really. I mean, that's not the way to treat your parents when you're an adult. And although sometimes you have to do that. If you don't have access to a laundry facility or the machines are busted, then you but that's a necessity. But to disrespect them like that, to mooch off them when you should be supporting them, and giving them the respect that is due. And then the second lesson was about the man who wanted to go after his cousin, but not in the halal way. He wanted to get with her intimately, but not in the bonds of marriage. And she declined. She kept declining him, but then when she needed money, you know, she only accepted, because he was the one who would give her money to meet her financial need. But when they got together, as I said last week, she said before they could do the act, she said, "Fear Allah." And then when she said that, that reminded him that he needed to think twice about what he was doing. And then he just left and he didn't take the money back that he gave her. He repented of his sin. And it's these two of the three, and the third one being the one who I talked about, who was a shady in his business dealings. But he didn't give a lesson about that. I think that will come next week. But I'm not sure what his khutbah is going to be, or if someone else is going to give the khutbah. But these are the two things that he focused on today. And he talked about how in today's society, zina is so prevalent, and everybody, well, not literally everybody, but so many people are committing zina with their eyes. You can commit zina with your eyes. You can commit zina with your ears. You can commit zina in your mind. Just by thinking about illicit activity, so to speak, and instead of thinking about what Allah wants you to think about, the remembrance of Him, thinking about Allah, thinking about repenting of your sins, and thinking about good deeds you can do, and then doing those good deeds. And he said that young people today are less interested in marriage than in past generations. They want to be quote unquote free. They want to do what everybody else around them is doing, the way of the kafir, and that's just not good, because it only leads to problems, and not just the consequences of in the akhirah, the next life, but Allah punishes in this life too. When you're in the dunya and you commit serious sins like zina, you can be punished. You can either be punished with a physical reaction, as if you commit a haram sexual act with someone you're not supposed to even be with, there are consequences. A man can get a girl pregnant. You know, one partner could pass a sexually transmitted disease to another. You know, you could physically harm the other person if you're not careful in what you're doing. You could you could have social consequences from those around you who don't approve of what you're doing. And of course, if you don't think about the consequences of the akhirah, you know, Allah punishes severely in the hellfire in Jahannam those who commit zina and the other serious sins. So we have, Imam kept stressing, do not come close to it, meaning, you know, you don't have to do a physical act to commit sin. You, like I said, you commit the sin with your eyes, your ears, your mind, you know, inappropriate touching, just inappropriate looking, you know, he said, you know, if you look at, when you look at someone, you know, a brief glance, that's all you need to do. Or I try to avoid that if possible. You know, of course I have to look around me to see where I'm going so I don't run into people or run into things, but you know, try lowering your gaze. And he mentioned, you know, in the Qur'an itself says that men need to lower their gaze as well as women need to lower their gaze and guard their modesty. And to dress modestly. And although he didn't mention the hadith about being clothed yet naked, where your clothes reveal your body shape and you know, it's see-through and all that nonsense. But that's the basic idea of, you know, stay away from that. Don't go near it. You know, as he says. So that was today's khutbah, and again, a reminder to all the local Muslims and their families. If you have non-Muslim family members, bring them along too. There is a potluck at Masjid on 42nd Street, just south of University. It starts at 6 o'clock, just after the Asr Salat, and it goes, you know, on you know, either to Maghrib, which is at 7:45, or Isha, which is at 8:45, or something like that. But and you bring a dish to share and a drink if you're able to, and come join in community with your brothers and sisters. So I just thought I'd kick that in, and so that's all for today. And I'll come up with another video. Who knows when? You know, maybe something else before next Friday. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But anyway, as usual, anything that I say that's wrong is totally my bad. I can't blame Mila. Anything that I say is good comes from Allah, because Allah is the source of all good. So, assalamu alaikum, dunya. Thanks for watching, and mi'asr Mila.